A few large universities like Iowa offer legitimate fine dining rooms, often in the student union, alongside the usual junk college kids eat. Tracy Tonning supervises the stateroom at Iowa. He worked at Commander's Palace in New Orleans and the American Restaurant in Kansas City. Here are his stuffed morels.
First, we're going to start off with fresh morels, which have been soaked, to remove any foreign matter for about an hour or so. You pull them out and pat them dry. And we're going to stuff them with cream cheese, which I already have in the Cuisinart here. I'm going to add a little garlic. Some either onions or shallots diced. And you want to puree this mixture so it gets nice and soft. Once your cream cheese is softened up, you can add a combination of fresh chopped thyme and fresh basil. You want to mix that just until it's well incorporated. You don't want to go too far with it to change the color of the cream cheese.
A pastry bag is used to stuff the morels.
What you want to do with the morels, you want the larger size morels, and you want to cut just the end of the stem off if you have a long stem, so you can go ahead and fit your pastry bag right into it. Then you want to squeeze gently until you can get it filled almost all the way there. So again, stick your tube right in, and you can feel the cream cheese filling up as you go. And keep on proceeding with how many morels you want to make. You can see the tip's a little bit small. You just want to trim that. We're going to go ahead and bread these up. What we want to use is a standard breading procedure, but we're going to be using cornmeal instead of breadcrumbs.
The mushrooms are coated with flour, dipped in an egg wash, then into cornmeal.
And coat your morels as best you can. Make sure they're fully coated with the egg wash. And you keep one hand dry and one hand wet. Make sure they're well coated in the cornmeal. The reason for using morels, it's a local product grown here in Iowa, and during the spring you could pick anywhere from, personally I like to go out and pick them myself. The morels have a very intense flavor, probably the closest to a truffle that you can get, as far as the most intense mushroom flavor goes.
The chef will deep fry the morels. Now the corn relish.
Using the corn relish here, we're going to be mixing, once again, some local products here. Of course, Iowa has plenty of corn in it. That's why I like mixing these two products up here.
The chef pauses with the relish to deep fry the morels. He was waiting for the oil to come to temperature.
Now we're going to take our morels and deep fry them. You want to test your oil. Just drop a little bit of cornmeal in there, make sure it fries off. We'll cook them till they're golden brown and crisp. You get a nice golden brown, you want to take them out. Put them onto a towel. Drain the excess fat off.
The oil temperature is 375 degrees.
You don't want, your oil has to be at a certain temperature. If it's too cold, your cheese is going to leak out. Be just the right temperature.
Meanwhile, back to the relish. Diced bell pepper and onion are softened in oil.
A little bit of jalapeno and garlic. I'm going to cook that out a little bit, let the flavors come out. We're going to add our corn next. You want to heat your corn through. We're going to season that with a little bit of kosher salt, some cracked pepper, you want to add a little vinegar, white vinegar to it. It's just about going to evaporate off for you there. About a tablespoon of honey. We're going to garnish the plate. These are dried, this is dried morel powder here. I'm going to sprinkle around the plate. Add a little color to it. A little bit of the same fresh herbs that you had in before. And we'll garnish this off, finish off the plate. Nice sprig of fresh thyme. And there you go, stuffed morels with an Iowa corn relish.